Hi, everybody. My name is Nicolo Antonelli. I'm a PhD student at CIMNE, enrolled in a European project called GECKO. I'm going to present brief my research line. The title of this presentation is The Shifted Boundary Method in IGA. This work has been conducted almost together with a colleague of mine, which is also enrolled in the same European project, Andrea Gorgi. So first, a brief introduction on the technique I'm using, the shifted boundary method, which was proposed in finite element by Professor Guglielmo Scovazzi. Can be considered within the family of approximate boundary method, but also in embedded boundary methods, because actually we consider an approximate boundary in blue in this picture instead of the true one in pink in the picture. But we consider a Taylor expansion between these two boundaries in order to impose the boundary condition. An important feature is that we do not try to integrate the cut elements. The advantages of this technique is that, as all embedded methods, the boundaries, of course, are mesh independent. If we correctly impose the full Taylor expansion, we can recover the optimal convergence. By refining the background mesh, we will have that the surrogate boundary tends to match the true one in the limit. Also, at the end of the simulation, we can reverse the Taylor expansion from the surrogate to the true, and we can recover the solution at the true location, at the true boundary. We don't suffer on the so-called small cut cell instability, which is common for CAD-FEM-like approaches. And finally, it is also easy to implement. Our IGA framework, where we have implemented the SBM, is a little bit simplified, but we can extend this technique to classical IGA, and actually something that we want to do. But for the moment, we consider everything inside a box, which is our parameter space, described by two open and uniform knocked vectors. We use simple B-splines function, and the true boundary in blue in this picture is an STL. Another thing that we want to do is to extend the true boundary that allows it to be also NURBS. As I said before, when we refine the knocked vector, we will have that the surrogate boundary will tend to the limit to the true one. We have implemented our SBM in IGA in an open source software called Kratos Multiphysics, which is open source, so it's available on GitHub. For the moment, we can deal with external boundaries, with multiple internal holes, everything with the SBM. And if we put the physics in it, so if we consider a simple Poisson problem, we can recover the optimal convergence using from linear, quadratic, up to fifth order B-splines basis functions. An important feature of the SBM is that it does not try to suffer on the so-called small cut cell problem, which is a common problem for CAD-FEM-like approaches. So the embedded methods that try to integrate the cut cells, this because they might try to integrate arbitrary small contributions, and this might lead to almost zero lines in the linear system, and therefore huge condition numbers, and so fast iterative solvers cannot be used. On the right, we can see embedded approach in IGA, also implemented in Kratos Multiphysics, IBRA, with that try to integrate the cut knot spans, and you can see the huge condition number. And on the left, we can see a reasonable condition number for the SBM. And actually, we can and we use iterative solvers to solve our linear systems. Finally, we have also extended our approach to 3-dimension. So, for example, we can see an example of a true surface, not a true boundary, in this case, a true surface, which is a sphere. And in the red, we can see the surrogate surface, which are faces parallel to the knocked values. And then in blue, the integration points on the surrogate surface, and in orange, also the closest point projection, which allows us to do the Taylor expansion in 3-dimension, and so that we can impose the boundary conditions. Of course, when we refine the knocked vector, which defined our box, our parameter space, which is a box, we will have that the surrogate surface tends to match the true surface, which is a sphere in this particular example. Finally, we can put also the physics, so again, a simple Poisson problem, and we can recover the optimal convergence also in 3 dimensions. Future work are to go to more complex equations, so to go towards Navier-Stokes, also to go to application where embedded methods are really can really bring advantages, so problems involving moving boundaries or large deformations, and in particular, Andrea will also work on contact mechanics. Our paper, which describes in more details everything I explained in this brief introduction, is under review, so will be available soon. I want to thank you, and here is my email for observation, collaboration, discussion. Thank you. Bye.